Hello, welcome back to my channel. I have seen a lot of people do, if they could only keep, certain palettes, like I recently did, if I could only keep one palette from each brand, if I had to declutter a palette from each brand. I thought it would be fun to do, if I could only keep one holiday palette from each holiday, which palette would I keep? And I haven't really seen anybody do this, so I thought that would be fun. It was a little bit challenging. I do have one honorable mention because I technically don't have any Easter palettes, but I did find one that was very spring. So I do have technically an Easter choice also. But yeah, if you're curious to see what I picked for Halloween, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, just keep on watching. If you are new, welcome. Make sure you subscribe. Definitely come back. And yeah, let's jump in. Like I mentioned in the intro, I have not seen anybody do one specifically, like if I could only keep a holiday. Now I could do the counterpart where if I have to declutter a holiday palette from each holiday, which one would I declutter? Let me know if you want to see that. And let's jump in. Okay, so I think Halloween and Christmas are going to be like the most anticipated choices, and then I'll do the spring honorable mention because it's technically not really an Easter palette. But let's do Valentine's Day. The kids can hear me, so they're yelling. We'll do Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween, and Christmas, and then we'll do the Easter honorable mention at the end. So for Valentine's Day, I have quite a few Valentine palettes. I have done collection videos, and I will try and find them and link them down below. I was surprised at how many Valentine palettes I actually have. A few of them have been decluttered. Like I'm pretty sure I got rid of the Morphe XO because it's very like light to mid-tone. The colors, there's a lot of repeating shades, but the palette that I picked, because I have a few from ColourPop that are Valentine's, is the Shades of Roses. My other favorite is also Lorella. I have a Valentine palette from them too, but I liked the color assortment. So again, this is from Bebella Cosmetics, which is, there's like a super indie makeup brand that I think owns them. I'm not really sure. But like the Lorella palette is mostly hot pinks. I like that there's a couple of pinks. You've got a lilac-y shade. You can go red. You can go pretty smoky with it. There's a plum and a dark brown. You've got a tan. Like you can go neutral and just do kind of brown and gold. I like that there's a lot of different directions. There is a pressed glitter in here, but it's a really nice pressed glitter. It's very emollient. I think we got this palette. I ended up with a second one. I think it was Slay Glam, maybe, or Ice Cream Beauty. I don't remember, but I ended up giving it to a friend of mine, but it's a really creamy emollient glitter. And this is my original palette. This is the one I've had for a couple of years. I gave the brand new one away, but you wouldn't need a glitter glue with it. I do, but really, really nice. So that is my Valentine pick. No, I am not done. For St. Patrick's Day, I have quite a few new ones, but I just love the packaging. So if I could only keep one, it definitely needs to be the Evil Leprechaun, because obviously I have a horror obsession. So this is from CXC Beauty. I have yet to try this. I don't know what their formula is like. This is I think they call them like a mashup palette, a mixed palette. Like these are not independent shades to this palette. They combined two different palettes to make this one. It is on the website, so they do tell you which palettes they came from. That way, if you have a bunch, you're not buying duplicate shades. But I don't own anything from the brand, so it didn't bother me. I want to say this is the Gamma Ray and the X-Ray palette, or it's the Ultra Ray and the X-Ray palette, something like that. They had this one, and then they have one that's like purple and green. They have a few, but they do tell you if you go on their website which palettes they combined. But I really like, you've got some duochromes in there. The matte selection is really pretty. I like the cover. The closure on this is not great. Like I wouldn't travel like with this. This does not want to stay closed. Like it doesn't click really well. So I may rubber band this at some point in time, but for right now, he kind of sits out. So that is my pick. for Halloween, I have a lot of Halloween palettes. Again, we have a lot from ColourPop. I have a few from Gourmand Girls. I have a couple from, let's see, the Batty Bean collabs with Shroud. There's a whole bunch. But ultimately, it was between this one and the Halloween palette because I wanted something that had a very like traditional classic Halloween palette if I was only going to be able to keep one. So I ended up picking the Spooked, even though if you watched my Gourmand Girl ranking, this is not my favorite out of the bunch. Haunted beat this one out. But again, if I'm only going to be able to keep one, I'm somebody that likes like the classic. I love the outer packaging. And then this is a very classic Halloween color story with a twist. So you've got a pink, a really shimmery purple. You can do some different green looks. You've got an army green, a bright green. I like that there's a black and a white in here. You can do very orange, you know, classic orange pumpkin, a couple of pretty like, this is a multi-chrome, duochrome, like just, there's a lot you can do. You got the matte purple. So I liked the, you know, very vampy and then more like pumpkin patchy. So I ended up ultimately picking this. And then I do have Nomad's Halloween palettes. But again, if I'm only able to keep one, I wanted it to be very classic Halloween. And then for Christmas, I was torn between this and Give Me Glow's palette. I really like their Christmas Morning. Again, I had the Rudolph palette from ColourPop. I have quite a few Christmas palettes, but I ultimately went with the Merry Christmas palette. This is probably one of my top 5 favorite palettes. I am planning on doing like the video where, you know, if I lost all my makeup, the first 20 things I would repurchase, which I wouldn't be able to do with this because you're supposed to exclude limited edition. You can't get this palette anymore. I like that it's got the classic red and green, but it's again a little bit of a twist, and there's a lot that you can do with this palette. I take this palette traveling quite a bit. I like that there's a black. You've got the kind of gingerbready burgundy shade. I couldn't not have this palette, so I almost had the Give Me Glow as my choice, and then I was like, wait, but that would mean this palette wouldn't exist in my collection, and I can't not have this palette, so that ultimately was my Christmas pick. So again, you'll have to let me know if you want to see, like if I had to declutter a holiday palette from each holiday, which one would I declutter? Because at this moment, I'm not sure. So that would be an interesting video. And then for Easter, I ended up going with the Bebella. This is a Life in Pastel. It's very spring-esque, which I think of Easter. Like this is Easter colors in a palette. So this is my honorable mention for an Easter palette. So if I could only keep one of my spring color story for Easter, it would be this one. Again, I like you've got the neon-y bright shades, and then it does go pretty light. There's one pressed glitter, and again, I really like how creamy their pressed glitter formula is. I like pressed glitters, so they do not bother me. And then the shimmers that are in here are really nice. I like that you can go a little bit darker with it. You do have the blue and the turquoise, and then again it goes pretty light. So that is my honorable Easter mention. But yeah, let me know, were you surprised by the choices that I picked? I was kind of surprised again with the Halloween and then the Christmas, because I did have the Give Me Glow palette out, and then I remembered, I was like, oh wait, then that again would exclude the Merry Christmas. So I ultimately changed my mind. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, make sure you are subscribed if you're not already, and hopefully I will see you in another video very soon. Bye everybody.